a photographer most noted for his photographs of Marilyn Monroe, pulled a cute number on me. After a session, he invited me over to his little apartment, which he keeps 1 block away from his studio, for a drink. So I trotted over there thinking a drink wouldn't hurt. And whack, I was out like a light after 2 sips. When I woke up, this photographer was humping me. And it was like being an not an infomaniac. What do you call those dead people? I can't remember. Necrophiliac?
I really was furious.
I couldn't move. Whatever it was in that drink, I was like a dead body. Transmitted. So it was like he was screwing a corpse. Twisted. Wow.
A sex slave.
I never went back there.
I thought I was gonna explode.
But the whole fashion scene is
really appealed to me.
You know, I said so while I was Girl of the Year and Superstar and all that crap. Everything I did was really underneath I guess motivated by psychological disturbance, but I'd make a mask out of my face because I didn't realize I was quite beautiful. It's taken me 27 years to realize it. And practically destroy it, but I had to wear heavy black eyelashes, like bat wings, a little ridiculous, and dark lines under my eyes. Cut all my hair off, my long dark hair. Cut it off and strip it silver and blonde. All these little maneuvers I did out of things that were happening in my life that upset me. I'd freak out in a very physical way. And to the set. It was all taken as a fashion trend. When I was with Andy, knowing I was with a bunch of faggots, I was dancing jazz ballet twice a day, so I just wore my leotards, and I knew I wasn't going to turn anybody on, so I just trotted around in my leotards, and when I went out on the street, I'd put on a coat. But Vogue photographed me in leotards and a t-shirt as a new costume. And then the newspapers took it up because Andy and I ended up appearing at the same places. And I was kind of turned off for the time being going out with men because I was very upset that 2 of my brothers had committed suicide, 2 that I loved very much. It kind of screwed up my head, so I just freaked out for a while. Then I must say I liked the introduction to drugs I received. I was a good target for the scene. I blossomed into a healthy young drug addict. Can have a sense of humor about it now, but for a couple of years it wasn't very funny. But fashion as a whole is a farce, completely. The people behind it are perverted. The styles are created by freaked out people, just natural weirdos. I know this because I worked with all those people while I was modeling, and while I was called the Superstar and Girl of the Year, I hadn't had that much experience with acid. And even though they weren't giving me hard barbiturates, they were giving me Placidil, which is a hypnotic and very addictive. And I didn't have any pills, so I was kind of ravaging around. And I went to see a doctor who was a gynecologist and a pretty well-off one. He said, how would I like to shoot up some acid with him? And this is really mind-blowing. A new doctor. I had never met him before. I just got his name from a friend of mine. I used to get my drugs from another gynecologist, but since I was committed to Gracie Square, I couldn't get any of my old connections to give me anything. I hadn't had that much experience with acid, but I had hard drug experience, and I wasn't afraid. So he closed up his office at 5. And we took off in his Aston Martin and drove up
the toes or upper exhilaration. Exactly where we headed.
They are so fabulous.
What's the name of that?
It's hard to choose.
The Hudson, yeah.
The
And we
Deadlock.
stopped at a motel.
Speed
And
and
he gave
booze.
me 3
That gets funny. You get chattering at about 50 miles an hour. It can get very funny, a little ridiculous. It doesn't go into insane ravages. It kind of gets amused somewhere between insanity and a safety zone. It's a good combination for a party, not for an orgy though. I stripped off all my clothes, leapt downstairs, and ran out on Park Avenue and ran 2 blocks down Park Avenue before my friends caught me. Naked as a lima bean. A speedball is from another world. It's a little bit dangerous. The ultimate in climax.